This event is a Pat Fleming production, and it is brought to you by Accu-Stats. As is our custom at the International, we're in the Aramis Simonis Arena at the Sheraton Norfolk Waterside Hotel, our gracious host for the past 4 years, and is also the custom here at the International. Diamond Billiard Products is the official table of all our events, and they have so graciously brought us this 10-foot, Bigfoot, one-piece slate pro cut pocket table that's a real test for all our champions. This is a 16-player event. It's single elimination. We're about halfway through eliminating the players and working our way to a championship. So we've got another superb matchup for you right now. Let's not wait any longer and introduce our competitors. From Singapore, this gentleman is just coming off a victory in the 2021 Michigan Open. He is also the runner-up at this year's U.S. Open 9-ball championship, sponsored by Mez Q's. How about a warm welcome for Aloysius Yapp? Thank you. His opponents from the Philippines. This gentleman has top 4 finish in a U.S. Open among his list of accomplishments, and he's sponsored by Mez. Would you kindly welcome Jeff DeLuna? All right, gentlemen, please lag for the break if you would. Your official timekeeper is John Baker, and at this time I'm going to send it upstairs to the commentary booth to Mark Wilson and to Mosconi Cup captain Double J, Jeremy Jones.
Mark Wilson and Jeremy Jones coming to you from high atop the International Open. Welcome aboard, Jeremy. Any pre-match thoughts for this one?
Well, a lot of firepower, a couple lefties, southpaws, both from a little bit a ways away from Norfolk, Virginia, but we both know their games. Both of them been, doing really well the last couple of years, especially Yapp here lately. But I think both you and I know that was kind of coming. I've known Aloysius now for about 5 years. We have a really good mutual friend in Dallas, and he's come and stayed there before with him and Shark. And of course, Shark, dealing with him at Lindenwood, and just what an extreme talent, and what a guy that's going to be great for our game.
Hardworking, great disposition, great culture for our sport. He's won the lag, a break.
Yeah, we talked in Ohio a little bit, and we talked, of course, in Vegas about different things. But he's liking everything. He's a little still wanting to get that break a lot better, of course. The 10-ball break feels like the transition's a little quick at times. But this table's been a little stingy at times as well. I bet he's happy to make a ball here in game number 1.
Yeah, you win the lag, you make a ball, and then let's say you run some balls and play a safety. You got quite a bit of momentum already started here.
Yeah, and you really get to experiment first, right, with the break. You get that first chance. You get to look at your opponent break once as well here in a moment. But,
Baldy shot, and there's absolutely no doubt he's not offered the opportunity to play on a 5x10 very often.
Yeah, he's got to play a little off-angle 3-4. Is it the 3-4 combo? It is. So the 3's going to have a little speed coming off the 4 if that's what he elects to do. I couldn't really see him playing short side unless he's thinking the kiss shot on the 4. Now that's a shot you can come across and roam across the 6. And you don't have to get that close to the 3. See where he's got his finger right there?
Yep.
The kiss shot's very easily played from right there. So I don't think it'll be short side on the 3, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe the billiard.
That's the billiard on the 4 ball because it plays so much easier to get position on the 3 than the combination does. When that combination's off angle, then it becomes treacherous getting on the secondary object ball.
Right. If he gets on the kiss shot, I think that's the correct play. He's got a good 6 inches, 8 inches room for error getting there. And what Mark's saying is he can float the 3 to the other pocket to hold position off the kiss shot. Or if he plays the combo, he's going to get into the 6 unless he gets by it. Oh, wow. He may get short side on the 3, Mark.
I don't think he meant to get there because it was such a close hit, but nevertheless, he's here now. Now he's got to be mindful that if he makes both of these balls.
Yeah, this is funny. I mean, this has become actually a little more touchy. I think he still plays the 4, to be honest with you. The 3 looks like if he can't hold the 4 if he plays the 3.
Good call, Jeremy.
Yeah.
That's what he tried to do. He's disappointed that he hit it a little bit heavy.
He didn't really put much left spin on it, huh, Mark? I thought he may throw the ball a little bit. Now, DeLuna with a nice opportunity on Yapp's break.
And we know that he hit it heavy because look at where the 3 went. If he hits it full, the 3 would have hit the end rail. It didn't. It went real thin. So, like you're saying, the left English probably would have been enough to influence that 4 to drop.
Yeah, and I think he could have been a little more aggressive with it, too, if he puts a little of that left and carries the 3 ball a little more, maybe off the rail. Maybe the cue ball bounces off the end rail a hair more. But regardless, he would have been fine if the 4 drops.
Well, nobody's speed. I guess it's just going to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny he ended up even creeping by it, though. He had a lot of room to get to the center.
Right. Yeah, he looked over at Aloysius and smiled. Like, I got lucky there.
And a little nip draw. Oh, he had to take it around. He's got to watch out. Once you get into the cue ball on this slick felt, it can get away from you. That's why natural shots really are, on any table. But even when it's even more slick, I think natural positions and routes really help. A lot of things developing on the outer tables in the main event. He's looking at really moving it. Man, when you're that close, can't you kill it a little bit, Mark?
I think he's thin. I think he doesn't want to use check side or inside
spin. What about
spin.
just straight draw? That's the one whenever you're close to it on the slick felt, you can really manipulate
That's
it.
Right. That's right. And
maybe just hit 2 cushions for the 7 in the side.
And Boosty and Efren are particularly adept at that maximum draw, minimum speed, bend the cue ball just enough to take the pace out of it.
I like this as well. I liked either one of those options versus what he looked at a moment ago, going some 4 rails to the backside of the table and then trying to come back towards the 7.
He really hit that good, and that allowed him to have super speed control, and you can see it's stop, stop, stop now. That's a pretty nice arrangement. That's a good way to play on a 10-foot table when you get a lot of stop shots.
Well, we always talk about upside with players, and it's usually a little bit of the younger brand. But still got to talk about Jeffrey's upside because I still don't think he's reached what we're going to see his best at. And what I mean is week in, week out. I think he lets the moment at times still get the best of him a little bit. Maybe his talent level get the best of him a little bit. But I have felt in the last couple of years he's matured as a player and still looking for that big win.
He takes the lead 1-0. Jeff DeLuna, 37 years of age. Aloysius Yapp, 25.
Yeah, we got a lot of big names playing at this hour. Jason Shaw, Jonathan Hennessy, 8-2 over Alex Pagulayan. Tyler Starr in a battle against D. Atkins. He trails 8-4 to D. Warren Kiamko in the back corner. He just got started. On the left side of the room, we got a lot of champions. Earl Strickland about to get kicked off next to Shane Van Boning. I think Josh Roberts is about to tee it off, maybe, against Brandon Schuff. Is that what it looks like over there? I'm sure those two have played before. Conrad. Hard last name.
Yesheshin. Yeah, I've had to do that one too. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Z's and S's everywhere.
Yeah, only one vowel in the entire 15 character name. Last name.
Exactly.
15 letter, I guess.
Then you get the other way. You got, who is it? Evelyning? Is that it? No, that's the poker player. NG, last name.
NG.
Yeah.
Ing.
No, I know what, but what's her first name?
Ming Ing.
Ming Ing, yes.
Actually,
a
mutual friend I was telling you about from Singapore, he's Crispian Ing is his name, and that's the guy that he's also a pool player from Singapore, but resides in Texas the last 20 years. All right, big shot here. Coming 2 rails for a little gap between the 5-7.
He hit the pocket rough, and that's going to take some pace out of the cue ball.
Usually costs you about a foot with the good players is when you catch a little thick or thin.
Yeah, and Ming Ing's case, I'd have to do roll call with the Women's Pro Tour events, and I'd say, hey, Ming, this is America. You got to buy a vowel there. You can't be rolling here with NG.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that's a lady that's still maybe improving. You know, one time she played pretty darn well, and then she took some time off, and in the last few years she's played a lot more pool again.
She's around your way, isn't she?
She's in Houston, yeah.
Houston.
I'm in Dallas area now, but she's in Houston. Tough little kick here. He's got to bend it, huh? Got to bend it just a touch between the 8 and the 9?
Yeah, you got to hit this pretty nice. I think he'll go with pace, too, yeah. 10-ball action. Boy, I watched the Pagulayan and Gorst match. That was a real interesting, entertaining match. Gorst played so good to begin with, but couldn't pull away, and then Pagulayan kind of found his groove and ended up winning 11-9.
Yeah, that side rail break that Pagulayan uses, it's got some strategy to it, that's for sure. Kind of makes a lot of exchanges during some games, and what he feels like is going to bode well for him getting to the table, whether he's kicking at it or not.
Wow.
So there's some of that power I was talking about.
Look at that stroke.
And I don't think I've ever seen any player, you know, we rarely use above 75% these days on the break shot, on any shot, really. It's just not needed with the conditions and the equipment we play under. And most people can't maintain their form and sequence and timing and everything else involved once they really raise the bar a little bit. But this is the one guy, and maybe the most I've ever seen, Mark, of a player that when he needs to go 90%, he hits the cue ball very accurately and still keeps his timing. The line of the cue ball is very good. Now, it's rare that we have to do that, so we don't get entertained very often with it. But
well, you have just simplified.
You want to kick towards congestion here. Yeah, I was going to say, I was wondering if he's kicking to the other rail. You'd rather kick the 3 in the cue ball towards these balls. Always try to kick towards congestion unless there's something obvious. But if you're trying to get a little lucky, you know. See, just too many things can happen. Good for you.
Good shot.
That's why you'll see some top players, they'll risk sometimes, like there's a short kick that really is going to just a big open space where the cue ball and that ball are going to be. They'll go a different route to just try and, you know, have something, a possibility of, you know, some luck, maybe a snooker. Is he trying to come on to the 4 with the cue ball, or is he running it further? Yeah, that was dangerous unless he really knew where it was going. He's given up a shot, or at least a look.
It was a great effort, though, because he had to get enough draw on that thin hit to get the cue ball. English take him around the 4, and he did that.
Yeah, I thought he might try to nestle up on the back of the 4, but I didn't know what was available. Now, to me, his demeanor, technique, the way he looks at position play, there really isn't a table that should slow Aloysius down too much, especially once he gets comfortable with it.
Right.
7-footer, I got to believe he's not going to make what a lot of players that don't play the 7-footer, those mistakes they make, moving the cue ball a little too much, different things. And the 10-footer is kind of the same. I feel like once he gets used to it, it'll be kind of tailor-made for him. You would never know it, but he's got tons of power if he needs it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's another guy that's one of those upper arm stays still, head stays semi-still. Once in a while you see him pop it a little bit.
Yeah. The only thing, and just like really all the greats that I've seen is, one thing leads to another is all it is. And what I'm getting at is occasionally, just like all of us, he'll kind of jump the backswing back a little bit, and it kind of throws the timing off and leads towards other things happening, but that's about it. It probably leads towards that head movement you're talking about.
Yeah, in the past, he lacked just a little bit of clearance, and so then the head would have to lift to get through the ball, and his follow-through was very short, and it would flicker at the end and not only be short, which indicates he's hit his rib cage too early. And then once he moved the cue just a little bit from his body, then it allowed him to keep the head still, but sometimes that's still residual.
Yeah,
sometimes he still flinches a little bit that way, but once he gets out of that, oh boy, his consistency rate is going to go up another 3 or 4%. And he's already darn good. Second in this year's U.S. Open, and that's a killer field.
Yeah, well, he made sure everyone knew it wasn't a fluke, all those things. He went on to win in Michigan. And that's what I was talking about right there. He was a little quick coming back and almost kind of decelled into the ball.
No, definitely decelerated into the ball.
Yeah, it's amazing.
He let up.
It's amazing he made it, to be honest with you. That tells me there wasn't a whole lot of side spin on the cue ball.
Yeah.
Usually when you decel, it can be pretty ugly.
Well, now he's got a big, tough shot here, and it's compounded psychologically because there's no way in the world you should be here for this shot. So now you feel responsible. And it's just like what Jeremy said earlier today. If your opponent leaves you this shot, it goes in so much easier than if you leave it for yourself.
Yeah, watch out. He may contact the 10 here as well. He's going to use a hair of inside, but doesn't want to use a ton.
Good timing on that.
Beauty.
Yeah, he didn't get quick on that one.
No, I mean, it's rare, and that's the thing. It's almost like when he does get quick, you have to have a good eye for it because it's not like dead obvious when he does. It's just a little jump of the ferrule on the backswing, and as well as I do, Mark, it doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, that was a nice out there to not let that game slip away, and now it's 1-1. The early games count just as much as the late games, right? That's like an old baseball axiom.
Yeah. Well, it's just human nature to remember the late ones.
Right.
That's all it is.
I used to get in matches sometimes, and then early in the match, I'd think, well, I'll just try this bank. I don't know. I got enough time. And then later on, the same shot would come up at 9-9, and I'm playing safe for blood. And then if I would have played safe in the first game, I would be 9-7 instead of 9-9. So,
right.
But that's what we do. We get sloppy, lazy. I wasn't really playing the game right. You should almost play every rack like it's hill.
Yeah, it's a funny game. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's the one thing that tells me it's a true sport, and these are true athletes, is when I played, I would have the same bank one game that I had another game, And sometimes my gut would tell me it's time to bank this ball in, instead of play the safety for one reason, maybe the emotion of the match, how things are going. My guy keeps kicking out of it every time. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but you definitely build a gut in this game. And like I said, it really convinces me it's a sport, because sometimes your emotion, it can get the best of you, but it can also make you do great things as well. So.
Yeah, adrenaline's a funny thing.
Yeah.
It can get you over the hump, but it's much more easy to break you down if you get too much adrenaline.
Well, and it's kind of like it separates the players is what it does. And I always relate it kind of like the nerves. When you're prepared, those nerves, once you get a hold of them, can really be good things. Now, the ones I don't like are unprepared nerves.
Right.
Those are the ones you never seem to get a hold of.
Right.
Which I felt that at the U.S. Open, I'll be honest about it. I did hit some balls, but nothing like I used to. And I felt something like I'd never felt before. Okay, playing behind the 10. A shot that every player should really learn, coming to the middle of the end rail. Now, he may have left a gap. Mark, you're kind of looking right down the line.
Yeah, no, he definitely has a shot. Well, no, I think he has a shot. He doesn't seem to be sure of it, so how could I be sure? No, he does have a shot. Okay.
Yeah, not a
No, he didn't have a shot.
Though.
No, I thought he had the full ball.
Okay, so he's probably going to... that shot there, as an amateur, you learn that shot, banking it back down the table, and it's a pretty effective shot. But on the pro level, it's kind of like not used that much, because if you're letting your opponent see the ball at this level, even when they're down here. Now, if you freeze the cue ball on the rail, that really helps. But this doesn't get it done a lot of times at this level. He's going to put the cue ball behind the 2 most likely. What he's attempting to do, try and use the 10 as well.
Pretty good shot there.
Yeah, that shot that DeLuna had, and that may have been all he had, but that's normally, like I said, a shot you would use on kind of a last resort resort kind of thing.
He acts like he has to curve it a little bit coming around there, so he cannot hit this hard. And he hit it too hard, so the break didn't catch soon enough.
Yeah, and he was really trying to put enough speed to separate the 1 a little bit, but really dive the cue ball below the 6 on the curve shot. Okay, what's he do here? This is a funny little shot on the 10-footer with the 9 being so high. You really don't have the 2 rails. I may follow between the 6 and 10 here, 2 rails. Now, if he could set up nice and full and just pull this ball out 1 rail, that's okay. I guess that's what he's going to do, Mark.
Yeah, I think it's a easier position play because you have so much of a bigger zone.
Yeah, as long as he can get the draw on the ball, no problem, and he can. Me, I'm not that great of a bridge player. That's not the type of shot I want to shoot with the bridge, digging on the cue ball.
Right. Yeah, he handled that one very comfortably.
Ooh, kind of squeezed that one home a little bit. And that's what you'll see. You notice he had a little top left, almost deflected to the overcut on the ball from some 2 feet away. So that's the thing that the guy's got to get used to, is the deflection when using side spin on that slick felt. That's really in my opinion, the biggest dilemma with the slick table.
Is the amount of squirt that's introduced. Yeah.
Man, he really excels at that shot as well. Just that straight low tip there instead of putting outside. Really stays clean with the stroke. A lot of times when guys, including myself, hover the cue ball around the center, makes me want to hit at it a little more, where he stays real good with the tempo.
Aloysius Yapp now leads 2-1. This has really been a breakout trip for him. He's been gone 2.5 months. He has a third, a second, a first in big tournaments. Plus, he has worked on his game incessantly, and I've been around him some to see his work ethic and discipline. This is a guy that wants to be number one.
Yeah, and he's, in Singapore, probably, well, it's not the Philippines for Southeast Asian pool, but, it's a place that's coming along. But I kind of feel like many didn't see this coming with Aloysius, and I kind of felt like it was inevitable the way he plays and the way he works.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough road, pool is, don't get me wrong. You can play your heart out and play great for a long time before really winning. Some hit the scene running like a feeler and kind of win early. And then some it takes many, many years. But I didn't see a whole lot holding back Aloysius.
He loves the sport, cheerful, pleasant to be around, and then hardworking to go with it. So big upside with this guy, and especially now he's got a little more confidence going from his successes in this last 2.5 months.
Yeah, he kind of, saying it in the best manner possible, went a little bit from the cheap seats right there to the main table for a lot of matches.
Right. So, yeah, he's going to be a force to deal with here moving forward.
All right, DeLuna, he doesn't back off a lot.
He has a fingertip break. You don't see that very often.
Yeah, he's got all kinds. He'll open hand break it with the best of them also at times if he's really just using a little pop.
Yeah. Well, I guess we're in a push-out circumstance now.
He's got to push out thin, obviously, no matter what. Don't think he pushes out to the kick here. I wouldn't go over there too far, I'll tell you that. So what he's betting is he isn't going to slow roll and hold for position. But where's the safety? Mark, I mean, the safety to me looks very difficult just at first glance anyways.
It sure does.
I mean, cutting it in, you can't hold shape, and I don't see the safety at all.
I think he's cutting it and then just hoping that he gets a backdoor safety if he barely misses.
But what, and then just play safe on the 2, you mean?
Or yeah.
Because he's coming downtown with the cue ball unless he wants to really roll his ball. Ooh, wow. Boy, that was touchy and dangerous from a long ways away, but I think overall he's pretty happy with the result.
Yeah, I do too. However, as close as that was, I think I'd rather pass that shot and let my opponent execute it.
I agree. And this is the main reason why is I think Aloysius did as well as he could, and he still let him see the ball, right? I mean, so
right.
Anything off right there, you might scratch, you double kiss, leave a layup.
Yep.
Nice shot there, Jeffrey. And
boy, super shot.
That took a lot of nerve to roll your ball like that because he had to contain the 1. I'll tell you, one upset done, 10-3. Jonathan Hennessy over Alex Pagulayan. Alex did struggle a little bit in a win over here on the 10-footer against Federer. Got going at the end, like you said, but another one, 9-6. D. Atkins over Tyler Starr at the moment. Does he have a paper-thin cut here?
Apparently so.
Wow, nice shot. Another fan favorite on the outer table, Naoki Oi, a guy who's been making a lot of big runs as well. Runner-up at the Predator World 10 Ball, semifinalist at the U.S. Open.
Might be a gap here. You hit it pretty good, but it was hard to deny.
I think there's a hair of an edge, maybe. I think he overcuts it, though, to be honest with you, Mark. Just kind of looking at it, I think, anyways.
Aloysius told me a story about his development. He said that he viewed Chang Jun Lin, J.L. Chang, as the best player in the world, so he flew to Taiwan to play him. And he said that they played a race to 9 for $100. In the first 2 sets, he got 9-7, 9-8. And his record overall at the end was, he said he started losing 9-0 and 9-1. And he ended up winning 1 set out of 23 sets.
How long ago was this?
A few years ago.
Okay.
But it was developmental exercise,
course,
you know. And but he just wanted to see, what does it take? What do you got to do to be number one? But that was also kind of like a real, it was like going to college or something.
Sure.
Like he really got the gist of what he needs to do here. And he got humbled pretty good because he thought he was playing pretty good, maybe enough to challenge him. And he did the first 2 sets. And then he said he just smothered me after that. Hardly ever got a chance.
Tells you a little something about him, though. Flew many countries away.
Yeah.
To go play some $100 sets.
With what maybe is the best player in the world, or certainly top tier.
Yeah, he's definitely top tier, no doubt.
DeLuna missed by quite a margin.
Yeah, and that's one of the type of shots, that on the slick felt just kind of cuts a little easier, especially the prime conditions that Pat and his staff has here.
Yeah, Diamond, what a great product. I couldn't say enough good things about them.
Well, the clean pull balls as well, so the lights make everything a little bit better. You want a little more out of the cue ball there. Wondering what he's thinking about on that 5 ball. Don't really see anything that great to get from the 3 to the 4 to make it easy to maybe open the 5. A lot of separation there, and when a ball's out in the middle of the table, it can be handy, but it's usually a side pocket you need to kind of use. Mm-hmm. And I just don't see it here.
Oh, I don't think that's going to be a problem now. He's over the 4, and trying to get close to the 4 ball will be super tough. Let alone worry about an angle to get on the 5.
Yeah, I don't know if I even shoot at this. I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible shot to shoot at, and I guess you can see some future coming off the 4, 2 rails towards the 9. Yeah, it just seemed like a shot to give up the table. But, you got to shoot, I guess.
Well, in that particular case, if it doesn't look like you can run out, why not just overcut the bank, cross corner, let the cue ball run back down here, and put the 3 over there by the 5, and let him have to kick at it,
right,
if he can. But
I thought he may be able to cross the 3 up the table near the 4 and maybe put the cue ball underneath the 9, maybe wiggle it over on top of those balls, something simple.
Right. That either one would have been okay.
Yeah. Probably your shot's better crossing it, but
you hate to give up to the table with good players, whether DeLuna gets out or not, because he can get position to play a good safe.
Right.
So you want to make him earn those opportunities. Now you're facing what's likely going to be a pretty good deficit at
he's
your
going to
next
try to
visit.
open these with his power here. He's drawing straight into him, or he's forcing to the rail. I don't know which.
One rail, I believe.
Yeah, one rail. But the thing is, if you just cream it, that's the right speed.
Yep.
That way you can develop and stay near the balls, right?
And you can't get hooked. I mean, it's almost impossible coming at it like that to ever get hooked. So even though it doesn't work out great.
Yeah, the 5-9's a hanger, it looks like, but I don't know if he can really hold position. It looks to me like it's a very playable combo. There's an easy safety, of course, but don't think he'll pass up on the combo if it's makeable. Yeah, the 5's going to carry up with the cue ball just a little bit. Yeah, nice shot.
That was. Still nothing easy here.
Yeah.
He's got a thin side pocket to get to a nothing on the 6.
6 definitely doesn't go by the 8.
Oh, I might be wrong. The 6
Just
does go by.
yeah.
It does go by.
Just because he's not really putting much time into looking around. That's all. That's the only reason I'm saying that. Nice stroke there. Good timing, good speed.
Got a lot out of that, too. He got close to the 6, which helps tremendously. Quite clearly, it's snug going by there because he's took 3 good looks at it. The bull wins his second game, ties the match at 2 apiece. And now that shot on the 3 ball, jacked up, probably can't get out. I think
that's what I'm saying. Why go any further, right?
Yeah. I think you really look at those like turns of events, and you just have to make these guys earn their opportunities. You can't give them that 3 ball. They're just too good.
Yeah, and, we've all made that same mistake, it's almost like the mistake you make when you first start playing one pocket. When you first get to play one pocket, you get like a 7-0 lead. You kind of feel like, oh, I can shoot at anything because I got such a big lead. But it's quite the opposite, actually. Yeah. You're supposed to batten down the hatches a little bit and make your opponent earn it. Same thing here. You can't get these tournament games back. So right there from what Yapp thought was maybe a miss that wasn't going to cost him maybe 1 out of 5 or 6. Hey, if it costs you, though, it costs you.
And he's trying something there. Let's just say that he's 50-50 or maybe 60-40 to succeed. There's still a 40% fail rate, and you're not. How often do you get out when you hit the 60% shot? Very few times will you get out.
Yeah, that's the thing. The 60% shot on the 3 is one thing, but there was a heck of a lot more work and really something you couldn't foresee, and an awful kiss on the cue ball there.
Yeah.
The speed, that's the speed that's been successful, though. The lighter one, just a really bad kiss on the cue ball.
Which then reinforce you're going to have luck in a match, but you had a chance to take some of that misfortune out with your decision in the game before. So
right
now, and why is it that it snowballs on you too? You make a bad choice, and then it's like the pool gods punish you after that too.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's not just the pool gods. It's just sports alone. It's like if you look at the NFL on what the opposing team scores rate when you turn the ball over, it's unreal in comparison to what they would just on like a normal exchange of possessions, like a punt or something. You know, like it's.
But part of that's field position too, because a lot of times,
it is. But you see guys go for it, and just period. You can almost find it in every sport. It seems like
kind of pumps up the other team to even do better than they normally would.
90% shooter at the free throw line misses the free throw to go up by 4, and then the guy buries the half quarter to tie the game. It's just like just see it all the time. So it's not just pool. Just pool seems like it can be unusually cruel. Oh my. Well, probably didn't expect he couldn't get into the 6 ball right there. Oh, he was trying to go to the side as a 6. Okay. I'll tell you, D. Atkins defeats Tyler Steyer on the winner's side. Big win for D.
D is a good player, tough.
Oh, man, he plays everything well, too. Man.
Yeah.
Tough guy to beat. Shane Van Boning rolling over there, 8-0.
Look at that.
Yeah, watch out behind the 5. He's all right. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I know there's a lot of purists, but I think the game is most pure when you allow a little bit of luck involved. I know that sounds crazy, a hard way to look at it, but is that going towards the 10? He put outside English there. I don't understand why he would ever put outside on that ball. Straight high, he comes 1.5 feet clear of the 10.
Yeah. He's smiling. He knows he didn't do that right. He knows he got away with a little something, not a lot.
Almost overdrew the ball to a little too steep on the 6, but should be okay. That's got to go a touch. Got to work his cue ball a little bit. Can't cheat that angle. Definitely
If he
gotta
can
move
reach it, he's short.
Yeah, he's very athletic, though. The guy will stretch his body out and contort his body all kinds of ways and positions to shoot the shot. Now, is he going to draw to the left of the 10 and down, or is he going to follow it?
I thought he was going 2 cushions topspin, but now he's not sure what he's doing. So.
Well, if your nerves are high on this kind of shot, you want to shoot draw. You know, you don't want to hit the high with the left English if you're a little nervous. But, and he kind of, he likes them all, but the draw stroke he definitely kind of favors a little bit. But to me, it lays right to follow your ball, like in a perfect world, so you're feeling fine. Should be just a tip of left English, not even. Now he's drawing the ball. So he's going around the 10 with some speed.
Boy, nice hit there.
Maybe straightish on the rail here. This is another one, Mark. Prime example. You have to smooth the ball out. If you get to hitting this hard, you better be perfect. I'll tell you that. You could be missed, and the cue ball could hook on you.
Pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Good to see TK from FLA back in action over here at the International.
Jeremy's referring to Tommy Kennedy.
That's right.
Here's my Tommy Kennedy impression. Hey, it's Jeremy Jones. He doesn't miss a ball. Hey.
Yeah. Had a lot of battles with that guy. I lived in Florida, which I played him a lot of other places too, but I lived in Florida for a couple of years in 99 and 2000, and the Florida men's tour was pretty prime and going then, and had a lot of battles with TK. Tough customer.
Yeah, he reigned death on that tour. Buddy Hall was living down there. TK would beat him quite often in that thing. I played Tommy quite a bit. We used to play over in Orlando. He was there, and I would stay with my dad, come down sometimes for a few weeks at a time.
Yeah, my grandparents lived in Winter Haven, which is about 30 miles south of Orlando. A couple pool rooms in that area as well.
We used to play at Spats. Have you ever heard of that
I don't know
place?
if I ever went there.
Charlie Justice was the one-pocket specialist there.
Charlie Justice, I know that name.
Yeah. Played Steve Cook over there a few times.
Yeah, I played Steve twice in the one-pocket tournaments. Never action, but man, he was tough.
Wow. He levied a tremendous blow on there. He hit it so hard it couldn't scratch, I guess. He hit it so hard it came back behind because he mishit the head ball enough it should have scratched, but he hit it too hard to scratch.
Yeah, he's laid the one up in the corner, the two on the side. He's going to have to bump into the three, some type of... I think he's okay. He may have to make a bit of a little shot on the three, depending on how he wants to bump it. He's not going to bump it with a ton of speed, but could just play for the bank as well. On the three, I don't think so. I would love to chip this in, go to the rail, and let the cue ball and three kind of come out together in that little space between the 5 and 8. I think you can control it pretty decent. Like I said, you might have to back cut the three a little bit, because the three is more important to get out than the cue ball is.
Yeah,
But with the 4 not being pinned on the end rail or anything like that, very doable. Like a little left English. Just imagine the 3 separating like a foot away from the cue ball. I think that's about the speed. Stay very controlled. Yeah, I think he's dragging with a little left. You don't really need to draw, I don't think. But
a really interesting shot here.
This is the danger. That's why I wouldn't have tried to move it so far. Did he get away with it?
I can't tell. He might have rail first.
That's the only one of the only reasons why I wouldn't have tried to move it too far. Just having multiple balls down here. But I do understand it. You hate to bump it and not open it, right? Yeah, so I do understand for sure. it would have been a little unfortunate to get dead snookered as well. Okay, you see him playing short side on the 6 here? Or do you see him really drawing the cue ball back a lot to lessen the angle on the 5? I don't mind short side on the 6 myself. That kind of tells me where the cue ball wants to go anyways.
Right, and this is a circumstance where the short side on the 6 isn't that short.
No, it isn't, but with the 7 being there, I mean, it's, a little consideration, but I wouldn't try to overdo this one. I'd draw back a foot maybe. Oh, he got a lot on it. He really increased the angle. Now, does this mean he's going to pull it tight? Try and come 3 rails and slide on the other side of the 6? Tough table to do that on. You might run into the 6.
I don't know. I'm thinking that he's going to go left English, just super thin the 5, and just
go
let
towards
it
the 7
right
with the
at
cue
the
ball?
7. Yes,
that's the shot I like. I mean, you're going to miss the ball way less, which is
right.
Not the total determining factor, but it is a little bit of a factor. Well, he's cueing downward a little bit, so we'll see. Yeah, that's the shot. Now, is it going to run into the 6? That's the worry
Great
I
hit.
have. Yeah.
Great hit.
Well, did you notice also, that's another prime example. If you want the table to take the line, you expect it to, you got to smooth it around. Like a lot of guys would have overhit that, and off that 3rd rail, it would have spread like really badly, right? It's almost like Aloysius played on this type of felt a lot, quite a bit. Just a smart character, that's all. Smart guy. Jason Shaw making quick work of his opponent at 7-1 so far. Oh, he's playing Shark. I didn't realize he was playing Shark. I wonder if he's just not letting Shark shoot much.
I feel confident that's the case.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it may be the case because, Jason could certainly have the lead, but if Shark is getting his opportunities, he's going to be hanging in there.
He'll score some games for sure.
Yeah. I'll tell you a guy I'll keep an eye out for, and just because I know kind of how he rolls, and once he wins a big match, he can really get going, is Josh Roberts, who defeated Roberto Gomez in the opening round. And he's a guy that hasn't made a run in a big table event that he would like to, like he's done in the past few years, and I think he's kind of due. And again, when he gets that early big win, he can become a very tough customer. I wouldn't shoot this in the side if there's any question at all, right, Mark?
All right. Mosconi says never pass a pocket. So meaning that if you have pretty routine access, don't play it in the corner if it goes in like that.
No, I get it.
And once again, our score is tied. 3-3. You ever get through Chattanooga, though?
Not in a long time. I used to love that place. Beautiful, beautiful place, Chattanooga.
Well,
I got to get over there sometime soon, though, because I know Field's doing some things for some One Pocket.
yeah. He has perhaps the best burgers in the United States. I'm not kidding.
Hey, I'm a big-time burger critic now. I mean, I'm like on it.
Well, these are exceptional.
Good, huh?
I'm mowing 6 hours away in my yard thinking, it's not that far, really, And he's a great guy. He's so much fun, and you'll love the pool tables he has there. He's out on the east side. He has another place downtown, but he spends his time out there.
Neither one of them are new anymore, but the newer of the two, which is the one you're talking about, I was there for like a month or two when it opened. There was a big blizzard. I don't know if you remember in '91, but anyways, it was like a couple weeks this blizzard took to clear, and we were around Chattanooga. Spent a lot of time at his room. That's when he had the old Steepleton tables. And now I think he's got gold crowns. Is that-
Yeah,
he's got
yeah.
gold
He
crowns?
just he's got an anniversary in there that's nice.
Yeah.
Redone, and he just ordered a couple centennials. So
Okay, making balls.
took a little pace out of that break too, I think.
Yeah, that's what I said in the opener, that I kind of feel like that's the one that makes the most balls. I don't think any break is working every time, which is fine. You know, that's part of it.
Yeah,
Back when you and I played, we rarely had a break that worked every time.
right.
All right, open one ball. Don't think he takes a chance on doing anything with the 5 at this moment, even though he's got an angle to do so. That would be a little risky. He'll just come down for the 2. Pool is an amazing sport. It just really is so much like other sports where you see differences in players and their demeanor, how it leans towards their fundamental. And you know, I'm thinking here about Aloysius, and if I'm a player again these days, what I look at for Aloysius if I'm his opponent, and just look at a guy that is just not going to give you much, right?
Yeah.
Just never going to really. You know, they all make mistakes, of course, but just not going to give you much. Now look at the comparison of Jeffrey. You know, this is an alternate break format, and Jeffrey's the type that may, in a winter break format, not let you shoot the entire set. But then at the same time, if you played him enough, you know there might be that rare, unexpected mistake, that gets in there at times. So,
Right.
you know, big upside, but again, occasionally something very unexpected happens, and it's not like you can depend on it, but we've seen it happen before. Now he's going to take on this shot. He wants to just bump the latter side of the 5, I think, the side nearest the 8.
Jeremy's talking about playing the 4 in the corner as opposed to the side.
Yeah. I think so, anyways.
Well, that would
it
be
looks very casual. It's very natural to me.
If you don't do that, then you have to plan to play safe.
The key to this shot is don't try to rip it. You know, you're only wanting a little bump, so keep accuracy by staying about 30%. Yeah, just like that.
Boy, nice shot there.
Yeah, a lot of times, now that's the one time you will put a little more into it, but most of the times when you're breaking balls out, unless they're pinned up on the rail, normally it doesn't take a whole lot to separate them. You know, when they're on the rail, maybe a hair more because the rail can create double kisses and whatnot.
Yeah.
But overall, you know, it's almost like what they say in 3 cushion, that foot speed, right? Like feel like you're bumping it and you're separating them about a foot. A little straight, so he's going to have to sacrifice with a little distance on the 8. Not going to do much here, Mark. Maybe go stun forward, maybe an inch or 2. Doesn't really have to, but
Plays more comfortable, though, if you do, right?
You probably want to go maybe even 4 to 6 inches, actually.
And you know the other part of it is that when you don't just stop it here, you just feel better about the next shot, like you played perfect position for it. So
Right.
It makes you feel like I'm really supposed to get it now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And the key to him is, like I was talking about earlier, when the tip starts to hover around the center, it makes all of us feel like we have to hit the ball a little harder. And that's not the case. You're putting the tip in the center for a reason, to still stick to that nice timing. And that's one thing that you'll see from Aloysius no matter where the tip position goes. What I mean by that is, you know, when you're rotating the ball, you can feel the movement of the cue ball very easily, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you tend to want to stay a little smoother through the impact.
Wow. First break
solid.
and run out of the match. Right there as Yapp takes the lead 4-3.
Shane Van Boning with another impressive win at 10-1 there. So he trailed 2-0 yesterday. I believe he won 10 in a row. And then against a good player, too, and pretty good player. And now today, he's won 10 out of 11.
Yeah, that's beast mode for him. He played good on the 10-footer. He played good in the 9-ball, and he's geared up, throttling up. He's going to lead Team USA at the Moscone Cup, no doubt.
Well, I'll tell you another customer that I think you're going to see great things from in December again is Skyler.
Uh-huh.
I think he's matured again. He's, hitting more balls. He's come to the house. And just I don't know, just, when you know somebody a little bit, you kind of feel that maturity happen, right? And not saying he was immature by any means. It's just one more step I think he's taken.
Yeah. He used to tease Justin Bergman. He has Justin's sister's real cute. This guy would say, "I'm dating your sister," and they're like brothers. Justin looked at him, and Justin did not smile. "I'll kill you." Like he couldn't stand the idea of Skylar dating his sister.
That's funny. Well,
yeah,
we're on a timeout here.
Look at what a weird break. On your fingertips, the short on the grip. And you just lunge into it.
One thing about Jeffrey is not too many are in better shape. So that bridge, I don't recommend it to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That 1,000 pounds underneath your palm does a lot of great things for support. Mm-hmm. But Jeffrey stays pretty still. He's a guy, like I said, works out and stays in good shape. Yeah, what do you do here?
I kind of like pushing out. He's going to kick out of that.
He's going to play it off the point, or can he make it? I think he's playing off the point and just dragging the cue ball behind the safe.
Yeah, playing safe.
Oh, that's a dangerous way there. You better hope it hits something. I thought he would play it off the point and go forward with the cue ball. Let the two just roam out and let the cue ball go up table. Just kind of use the 6. I thought that was a dangerous way to play it without being able to weld them to a ball. But hindsight is 20/20.
Oh, did he get there? He did.
He did. And he's a lefty. Both guys here, southpaws. I saw Aloysius shoot a few shots right-handed. Looked pretty good. I've never seen him use the right hand before, but when he was practicing, thought he might maybe need it for this 10-footer, huh?
Yeah. And maybe he was thinking that way.
Okay, he could pull the ball here. Normally he would on the 9-footer. He'd stay pretty aggressive, cueing downward, coming between the 6-9 and then landing between the 7-5 with the cue ball. He's just got the right idea for, like I said earlier, you got to get used to coasting into position. That's what today's equipment really leans towards.
Some of the old school players really prefer to have to club the balls a little bit more, let your stroke out type of thing. They like slower equipment. I came from that era, but I prefer this because it's a little bit more precise. So,
yeah, I mean the key to this equipment is, in my opinion, anyways, is he's not guiding the stroke. That's the key, is to still feel like a natural swing of the cue, even though it's lighter. You're still being aggressive with the stroke. It's just a different back and forth swing is all it is. I started on the older felt as well, and it really probably suits my game when I'm in stroke more. But, great players adjust so well, I always thought, because they don't consciously think of it so much. They just let the natural swing kind of happen. They're going to recognize it's slower or faster. Mm-hmm. But once you start to guide in the cue, you're, I think, kind of dead meat, really, especially at this level. Kind of get the feeling we're not going to really see a glaring mistake from Aloysius. And not saying we are from Jeffrey, just Aloysius had some time at the table, and he looks pretty comfortable.
5-3, yeah, he's getting some good momentum going. He's got the tempo. He seems to have the speed of the table down. He looks very comfortable here on the TV table. Particularly first round match in the 10-ball event. You haven't seen the 10-foot table for a while. It is the pride of Singapore right there. Allison Fisher went over and coached the women's team for a couple months, and when she came back, she told me about Aloysius, and then I'm American, so I'm Aloysius, and she was laughing at me. No, it's not how you say it. Aloysius.
Aloysius, yeah. Yeah, I asked him a while back.
Well, he's such a good dude. You could call him Aloysius. Yeah. You can call him Yapp or whatever. He don't care. Sure. He even told me that because when I first met him, I said, "How do I say your name again?" Really locks in on the break there. 8-ball found the side pocket. He's going to get a shot on the 1.
Yeah, and he's getting some great results. I think if you asked him, he would tell you maybe it doesn't feel as good as the results he's getting, because he and I talked about his break and how, just the transition isn't feeling so good to him, like it's a little fast.
Yeah.
But it's kind of producing a break that's a hair lighter, and I think that's the speed that agrees with this rack and the way this table's breaking. I think if Jeffrey continues to really amp it up, he's going to suffer in this match because of the break.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already had 2 dry breaks, hitting them pretty square and really hard. Oh, the 2 doesn't pass the 9, is that right? Or does it? It's really close. So
I don't think it does.
He's got to work the ball real heavy across the table, right?
Yep.
Coming for the side. Oh, that's a nice shot. It's a nice shot.
You're not kidding. You had to hit that hard enough to create those angles and get all the way down here, but not too hard to get a severe angle on the 2.
Almost a prime example of what I was talking about earlier. It's just a nice, natural, fluid, I call it an athletic swing, to where, you let the motion take care of the business. You don't really try to guide it, and you understand the full swing itself is the best speed control. It's like in other sports, they say he steered it or he short-armed it,
Yeah.
That's when you really kind of lose accuracy, in my opinion.
Chili dipped it or something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
What is that? I don't know. It's a golf term or something.
Yeah, chili dip's a golf term. I could tell you a funny story. In Japan one time we were playing. It's funny that we had Japanese ladies caddies, and they didn't speak a lick of English, and they were the greatest caddies I ever been with, though, as far as doing their job. But Corey had busted a drive down there about 60 yards from the green. And so he went to hit a little pitch, and he hit it about 3 feet in front of him. This lady, she's about 75. She starts giggling. And the only English words we saw the entire 8-hour afternoon was, she giggled. She said, and she pointed at Corey and said, Duffy. He duffed it. So, we all started rolling, laughing. But what a great experience that was. All right, imperfect. Well, a little shy of perfect, so he's got to pinch the ball a little bit. Can't go forward really with the 10 there. So he's got to make a little bit of a decision cueing here. But this is the sweet part of the slick felt. You can really hold these angles. Like, he doesn't have to touch a rail with a cue ball if he doesn't want to, believe it or not. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, he got through the ball good. Much like you mentioned before, his control is really good when he gets through there smooth.
Yeah, I think he just checks this with the 9 so available. I don't think he has to move the ball for the 7 in the corner. It just keeps it easy for the side. He'll check his work right here off the 7. Probably just kind of stops his ball there, Mark. He could go forward, I guess, if he's going to get off the rail with the cue ball, but
I think it's going to stun towards the middle of the table just a little bit.
he
went all the way.
He had more angle than we thought. Yeah, because he didn't threaten the corner or nothing. Now he can just pull the cue ball. Oh, he's coming for the side. Maybe the angle fooled us a little bit again, or fooled me. I thought he may pull the ball there just for the 10 in the same corner, but this is fine.
Well, another break and run out for Yapp.
Well,
it's the second one of the match. 6-3.
You know, we may see an error breaking from Yapp, but as far as an open shot, safety, or, you know, open run out type of shot, it's just my gut tells me we're not going to see many errors in that regard.
Playing 9.25 right now. That gets it.
Yeah, well, I think Jeffrey needs to lighten up on the break shot a little bit.
This type of performance puts a lot of pressure on your opponent because they see that you're not giving them any unforced errors or everything. You're making the most of every opportunity. So now you have to try to do something a little stronger than what you maybe are inclined to normally do, and you try to ramp it up, and it actually works against you. The other part of it is both these players are experienced enough to recognize that.
Yeah, it's one thing looking at your opponent make balls with a lighter speed, but then if you add that he's broke dry also, it's not just seeing the success of Yapp, but also Jeffrey breaking dry at least twice, maybe 3 times. I kind of feel like he needs to take a little off. Took a hair off, not a lot, but a little bit.
Boy, good job hitting them square.
Well, that's
369 made something.
Did he? No, the 10's over the rack.
Oh,
so, but that's the other thing. That's maybe the determining factor on the change more than anything is he's hitting them well also.
Yeah,
and still not making balls.
Definitely time to move.
Yeah,
you're not gonna have all day to figure it out.
I'll tell you, with the bridge, I hate top inside more than anything, especially on a full hit. So I probably pull the ball here with low left, but looks like he's going top, maybe just to get the thin cut.
Look at this. Is he going right-handed on the bridge here after I just said I've never seen it before?
No, he's holding with the...
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
He just kind of crossed the cue. You normally wouldn't do that. You would hold the bridge to the side like that. He crossed it. But what a bridge shot he made right there.
Yesterday, Jeremy and I were doing a match, and Roberto Gomez, who's right-handed, shoots the bridge with the left hand. I said, I'd never seen it before. And Jeremy says, no, that happens quite a bit. And I'm like, well, I've been around it a long time now. I'm telling you, I guess I never noticed if other people do it, but that was my first.
Yeah, I mean, quite a bit might be a little stretch, but, I've seen it. Probably more than 10 times, probably.
Yeah.
Through the years. So now he's sizing up how he wants to get on the 5. That'll tell him how he wants to get on the 4, because working from the 5 to the 6 is really the work in the rack. Not a lot of space between the 6-7. Does he want to try and get to the side rail after shooting the 4 to have an angle? Ooh, watch out. Eesh, that's going to hurt a little bit. I wonder. I think he comes across off of this. This is a very similar shot to the 3 ball he hung earlier when those balls were tied up. But now there's a future. I mean, you got to shoot at it. You know?
Yes, and I think you tend to hit it better knowing there's a future too.
I totally agree.
Just cinch it. You don't have to get position. Just roll it. That's all. Just get it down. Now we'll play position.
Yeah, and what he's doing there is just decided to work a little harder on the 5 rather than take a chance on the 4. That's something Billy and I were discussing a little bit. That's one thing it takes a little while to get down. Now some of these greats are advanced; they just get it down quickly and kind of understand. But there's a lot of players that are right on the cusp of being, that next level. Maybe not the top level, but the next level. Mm-hmm. That try and make up a lot in one shot way too often. Sometimes you have to. There's no other choice. But a lot of times, if you're willing to work through the next couple balls a little bit, you don't have to take as much chance, right?
Right. So this is a prime example of a rack that elite class players get out, and good players don't quite get out.
And he's got a choice. If the 10 wasn't there, I think he easily comes for the side. I think he probably still does, but he's got to have a little better cue ball. Get nice and heavy on the 7.
Going to have to get really low to kill this because you got just a hint of an angle. No problem.
Yeah, when these guys are close to it and the slick felt, both those combination of those two things really offer that shot. I think I mentioned to you before, best I've ever seen is Justin Bergman at killing an angle, like holding an angle, excuse me. Oh, my.
That really hurt.
Yeah, very unexpected. And Jeffrey's got to take his time here. No reason to get in a rush.
Got a little jabby with it, a little bit quick, and he was trying to do a little bit more rather than just take it was a kind of a shocking. Oh, nice stroke. Comes right out of his chair after having not shot for about 15 minutes.
Man, just a couple of dry breaks and then watching a lot of his opponent. Pretty natural here with about a tip of left. Looks like he's playing short side. Wow. Okay. Could have ran the ball a little bit there. Naturally kind of coming off the 9, 2 rails for the opposite corner, but elected to kind of straighten the cue ball out.
And that's an important game for DeLuna to capture. 6-4 is our score after looking at what was potentially going to be 7-3. Does not take much of a mental hiccup to cause a miss on a 5x10 with snug pockets.
Well, Jason Shaw just didn't let up over there against Shark.
No, after you mentioned they were playing over there, I glanced a couple times and Shark kicked a couple times after that, and that was all I saw. See, Fedor Gorst is down there playing or practicing anyway.
Yeah, getting ready for the next round. I forgot who he played. I saw it earlier. Shane Wolford behind him playing. Kid from Roanoke, Virginia. I think he's going to be a really good player. He's playing Thorsten Holman. I bet he gives Thorsten all he can handle. That kid's got some talent. Dad owns a pool room in Roanoke, his parents.
Real nice place. I've been there.
Yeah. Another one of those lefties, Mark. We have a couple of them here.
Yeah.
2 of the finest.
Okay, Yapp set the break. 2 ball found the side, 7
Wow.
in the corner.
You think it did, but that'll show you how deep them slates are on the.
Oh, it didn't?
No, look at that. Yeah.
It's
It
so
looked
dark.
like it fell away, but and a little off angle on the 1 to really be offensive that I can see anyways. He's
No.
going to have to, I don't know, the 10's, man, dangerous.
Yeah.
You don't want to send the 1 by the 10 unless you're very secure of what's going on. You could bleed the cue ball down here behind the 6. That looks like the shot to me. And let the 1 just kind of roam out to the middle. Try and use the 6 and 9 as like a toggled a little bit to where the 6 and the 9 give you a big area. Kind of drag it down there a little bit.
This is kind of that in between nether region here.
Yeah, I think it's okay, though. The only problem I have is, Jeffrey's very talented. He can jump the ball with the full cue. I'm a little worried about maybe something like the 1 banked on the 10.
I kind of like shooting the 1 at the 10, and naturally you have to move the 1 ball away from the cushion.
You mean cutting it that thin?
Yep.
Wow.
But no, you can hit it a little bit heavy too, But I kind of like powering up and playing the cue ball around. You might be playing the cue ball off this at the 10.
I think he should just lay him down behind
No.
this. Yeah, see, I just used the 6 and the 9.
Oh, boy.
You have a big
Much
area
better.
with the
Much
6
better.
and the 9, yeah.
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, the thing he was worried about is, if anything leaks out, maybe something plays on the 10, maybe something plays on the 2.
Really good.
Really good speed. And not just the cue ball. That was a lot about the object ball as well. It wasn't just dead natural to place the 1, just in such a good spot.
Good thinking there.
Oh, he's going pretty high here, so watch out. Oh, good hit. Good hit, Jeffrey. That's all you can do. Going to leave a cross-side bank and one that Yapp will definitely take on. I think, anyways. He could pull the cue ball a little bit here into the 3 as well. Try and play, I think, maybe 2 of them.
I wouldn't blame him.
No, not at all. It looks like very natural to me.
I think it's the right play. Plus, you can hit it hard enough that it can still pocket the 2 if it comes short.
He's not drawing it much, though, so that tells me, wow, I'm so shocked he didn't play the cross side. Most guys don't pass on that. Now, the speed on the cue ball is excellent, of course, but he's going to have to fade a 2-rail kick, it looks like. Watch out for the cue ball. If he hits the side of the 1, the cue ball could come towards the 10. I definitely played two rails here. He could kick the 1 into the 2. He could come off the side of the ball, hit the cue ball towards the 10. A lot of good things that could happen with this 2-rail kick here. And I'm very shocked he didn't take on that cross side. Most of the guys take on the cross side.
Yeah.
Especially with, guaranteed position. Maybe it was a little more off angle than we thought. Almost feel like it had to be. And cue ball kind of came towards the 10, but Yapp's going to get paid off for another nice safety there. Got to work from the 3 to the 5, though. I'll tell you, the good thing for him is the 2 is very easy access to getting that nice little angle on the 5, or maybe no angle, on the 3 to draw back for the 5.
Good power there. He felt comfortable letting his stroke out a little bit and ringing the center of the pocket. You could hear it thumped in there nice.
I'll tell you, I wouldn't be bashful. I thought the 5 went, man, looking at the screen, that's good look. The overhead tells me the 5 doesn't go by the 10. I was going to say if the 5 goes by the 10, I might land straight on the 3 to draw short side. He's gotten perfect. That little angle where he can stun and draw the ball. Should come between the 8 and 9 here. So this is where you just use a hair of right English on the draw stroke. Don't get too much.
Good look here, this upper arm. Yep.
Oh, he got a lot into
No
it.
collapse whatsoever.
And he pulled that ball past the 9. I thought he may stun, draw a little heavier, like and go between the 9 and 8. He really got a lot out of that. Can he not creep it up a little bit? You know, with the top inside?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
I think
it doesn't have to get much for the 6-10 to be a very easy shot. So, yeah, nice shot. A lot of people, they refer to Buddy Hall when a guy's got the cue ball on a string, right? But it kind of looks that way a little bit.
Yeah. He had to travel the cue ball quite a ways to get there. He got just about perfect on this.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jeffrey's really got to change the break. I think maybe that miss on the 8 is, kept it from really kind of getting away from him. It could be 8-3.
Yeah.
But alternate break tells the truth because, Jeffrey would have broke either way, winning the game or not. And he's got to remedy that situation with the break shot.
Yeah, 2 of the games that he's trailing is by virtue of break and run out. So he's losing there, losing around, and these guys are both playing well. 9-16 for Yapp. He's pocketed 76 balls and only made 7 errors.
Well, I'm surprised there's that many.
Yeah, really good on a 10-foot table. And we got some pool action going on here. I'm in between racks. I'm looking down here. I'm looking over there.
Yeah, I mean, you both. There's Brandon Schuff and Josh Roberts in a dogfight.
What's the score? Can you see?
6-5 Schuff. I don't know who's winning the match between Shane Wolford and Thorsten Holman. 6-4. It's a close one. Earl just defeated a good dude, Bernard Walker. Guy that sure has improved a ton the last few years. Not a guy I don't think you would know, really, but from down my way.
Well, let's see what DeLuna does on the break here. He needs to be productive.
He's got to calm it down a little, I think. He didn't calm it down at all. He did make a ball, though.
But he also Brooklyn the head ball to get it.
Yeah. I think he's going to take this cut on. I don't know. That one looks kind of pinned to the rail. I thought it was a hair off, but him being a lefty, he'll still cut the ball a lot. I guess he just kind of moves. Can he move the 1 and still go behind the 7, or is he going to contact the 8 with the 1?
It's really close to do it. I think he has to hit the 8 if he wants to get to the 7.
He shouldn't hit it full, though, so the 1 probably still carries down the table a bit off the 8, right? I don't think it hits dead full. I could be wrong, though, that's for sure. I'll tell you, if the 1 was a hair off, he's cutting this in. Tell you, keep an eye on that guy the next few years, that Oliver Zolnocki. I don't know. I think the kid's kind of like a rare genius when it comes to that pool table. I learned some things from him in Ohio watching him play, that things I've never seen before. And,
Well, that's unusual.
well, I wouldn't say that, but I mean, it was pretty impressive, though, calculation, and he saw things just immediately, and then he kind of like did his calculation for it, and it was like, okay, it's right. And then he was right. It came out perfect. Might be a little gap for Yapp here. Don't know if he can make it or not. I think probably technically there's enough 1 ball there, but he's elevated. I don't know if he shoots at this.
Boy, you'd have to have a serious constitution to Want to take this on jacked up over the 10, slow roll it down, back cut to 1.
I think he's seeing, he bent down to see how much the left of the 1 he could get, to see if the 2's not impeding, to see if he can run the cue ball safe. I think that's what he was aiming for. All right, kind of whiffed it going by.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he was kicking. He was trying to.
Yeah, clip it.
Yeah.
So DeLuna's played great, past the break shot, right? I mean, not saying the break is, he's dogged the break. I just don't think it's working on this table as a whole. Smashing him. We saw Federer in the last match. He turned it up, didn't really get many results behind it. Just a little draw stroke here. Oh, he caught the 9. So it worked out, though. Actually worked out very nice. Should cut that lead to 7-5 here. Yeah, the 9's kind of making the rack, a little more difficult, because if the 9 wasn't there, he could certainly stop on the 6 and have the perfect angle to, come up for the for the 8. Now he's just got to move the cue ball a little bit is all.
Just floated it across the table. Make sure he has the cut on the 7.
And key to this shot is don't think you have to baby it that much. You can come a good foot or so above the 8 and be fine. So make sure you get good clean contact on the 7. Doesn't drag at all. Yeah, that's why I don't know if that's coming for the side right there, Mark. A lot of times I'm playing for the corner on that
Yeah, you
one.
had to thump that pretty hard just to go a little ways. And
Yeah.
then if you get off angle, it can be tricky for sure. The way you fell on it, though, is ideal. And good job there, Jeff DeLuna. 7-5 is now our score. Who would you pick for the last player on Team Europe, Gorst or Kachi?
I kind of knew it was going to come down to that. I thought, anyways, a few weeks ago. I thought Gorst had a shot if they picked maybe after this event. But I kind of felt like Kachi was probably a little more deserving with a couple wins there and a couple big finishes. And to be honest with you, he had a very good Mosconi last year. Where Federer didn't play poorly or anything, but he is the one that did struggle the most out of the European team, being the rookie. And that's everybody, right? I mean, that's not anything uncommon, but I think just with the year itself, I think you probably had to go with Kachi overall. But that would be one tough decision
Yeah,
every year if you don't look at what they've done that year. You know, I mean, it's like, wow.
Yeah, it's like the cop out of, well, he did this, but either way they go, it's going to be tough as could be. I kind of favor Fedor only because his production the last few years and the way he's rising, it seems like this would be a great time to get him some experience in there, add to that. But how could you go wrong with Kachi?
Yeah, the one argument for the year that I have is and it's nothing on Kachi, just a matter of where he's from. Albania has been very closed up. You know, he's had to withdraw from some events because of his country's restrictions on travel and different things. So where Federer, again, he had a big win, a nice win there in Arizona to kick off that Pro Player Series from CSI, which is a nice win, but it's not the Predator World 10 ball. And then Kachi had the same kind of win there in Austria just a couple weeks ago, and that Pro Player Series that was ran over there. So I think, you know, they're both deserving. I think that goes without saying. But I think overall for 2021, I felt like you had to kind of go with Kachi just for this year. Mm-hmm. The one thing, like I said, in Federer's argument, and nothing against Kachi, Federer's played way more events. And he's been out there in the mix, and he always has results. They're not, and you know, only one guy can win. So that's the one thing. The one thing I thought that hurt Federer is Kachi in 2018 very very much struggled in the Mosconi, and then in 19 got incredibly better. I mean, I thought was just as solid as any European when they took that loss in 2019, and then last year he was very solid. Mm-hmm. So I think those last couple of years in the Mosconi also weighed into that decision a little bit.
Wow.
You know, and it always does, and it should, because teams are wanting to win. You know, it's one thing, the players you send up, but it's, Mark, you're wanting to win. So.
The Bull way overcooked that one. He wanted to make sure he got past the 8, and did he ever?
I think a straight high ball. Just got to use his talent here. He may end up contacting the 9-10 or the 10 coming up. But I think with his powerful stroke, he doesn't have to murder the ball. Just a good fluid top English stroke gets him there on the 6. Yeah, I like what he's doing. I think he's going to make it, Mark. Oh, he murdered.
Oh,
he went 2 rails up and down. I was talking about just floating past the 9-10.
What a shot that was.
Well, that's kind of what I was talking about earlier. When it comes to really amping up the power, I'm not sure too many really can hold form. Shane does it real well. When he needs to really power up, he usually does it real well. But I don't think there's any better than DeLuna. Not that I can recall, anyways.
No, that was really nice. You know, that's inherent with the Filipino players because they play on such slow tables over there.
Yeah, but most of them develop the brain more than the power, right? I mean, the combination of both, right? Yeah. And I don't mean that's not demeaning, but Jeffrey, to me, seems like he has a lot more power, almost like a young Bustamante. Mm-hmm. I think you probably were there when he kind of hit the scene. I was there at Billiards in 1992 when he first came to the country at the St. Charles event, remember?
Yeah, sure do.
He played C.J. Wiley when C.J. was in dead heat, and I gave C.J. the 8. Funny story is, I'm from Texas, of course, right? So I think it was 200 or 300 on the first set. I said, somebody's trying to give C.J. the 8? I said, well, hell. And these were those World of Leisure tables, like 4-inch pockets, like the toughest tournament pocket I ever seen. So I bet on C.J. the first set, and then the second set, I think I laid 1,400 to win 1,000 betting on Boosty. After I watched him play one set, I was like, okay, this is a little different ball game here.
Yeah. You did good then, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Boosty won both sets.
Yeah, I could have lost, of course, but I was pretty convinced after one set the way I saw him make that World of Leisure table look after being there a week and a half and watching a lot of great players struggle. Mm-hmm. Those pockets were brutal.
Yeah, I recall.
All right, got to take this in the side, I think. You got to jam the cue ball a little too much one way or another to take the corner. Just a nice little flick draw here to the side rail. Shouldn't be a problem. Oh, he really put a lot into it. Wow.
That was the flinch, too. You saw there. He didn't like that angle. Bothered him.
Well, I ain't going to lie. I'm kind of right over where he was cueing. And I saw a little bit of an adjustment when he was down, like the aim, which is something you don't see from the top players very often at all.
Supposed to get up and start over.
Yeah, I preach to people, if you want to learn what's going on, make or miss. Don't adjust when you're down.
Right. And he's going to gift this rack to Aloysius Yapp. And Aloysius will have a 3-game lead. 8-5.
Tommy Kennedy giving Zolnik all he can handle at 4-3. Tommy ahead. It's a winner side match. All these are winner side matches, by the way.
Yeah, the night.
Yeah.
This is the night shift taking over.
That's right. 7-7 between Brandon Schuff and Josh Roberts, and that match is moving along. So that tells you how well those two are playing, right? Not a lot of missing going on in that match. Thorsten Holman again. All he can handle from the young Shane Wolford. Thorsten ahead 7-5 in breaking. Now, he did make a ball last time, and I'll tell you, he's hit him great. It just seems like the balls that you're trying to make when you're overhitting them on this table these last couple of days have just missed the pocket a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't seem inclined to not go with his power stuff, although last time maybe he did take off 15%.
Yeah, a hair anyways, right? Watch the 8 and the 7 if they go long or if they come. They won't go short, I know that. Not with his break. All right, they both went in. The 8 and the 7 went in. The 1 didn't bounce up enough, but I tell you, these top players, hard not to roll this long railer in, I'll tell you.
10 foot, 11 foot, 12 foot, they don't care. They just make it.
I mean, it's just sitting so nice.
Yeah.
Just a straight high ball. You can stun it and bank it hard if you want. It's kind of how you choose to play the bank. But I remember when Mika Immonen won his first world championships in Cardiff. And he didn't hesitate. The one would end up on the end rail, 2-3 times a match. And he would just kind of medium roll it on in and run 5 or 6 racks behind it every match. It was amazing. And he didn't even contemplate. He didn't even think about playing safe. Oh, he's ducking. So he's not going to take it on, trying to roam the cue ball behind the 6-9-ish. Better make sure he gets the snooker. Oh, he got a nice, fortunate contact on the 6 there. Now he's got to go 2 rails the other way, doesn't he, on this one, Mark? Don't you go to the left here? Hard to scratch underneath it to the left. You could easily scratch on it if you go to the right. Now, if you're just kicking 1 rail, that's okay. But if you're kicking 2, you definitely want to go to the left side of the screen.
Right. You like the 2-railer because it gets you separation if you make a solid impact.
Yeah. Well, it gets you separation a lot of times on a thin impact. That's the other good thing. Say he shades this ball, the cue ball comes down here and has a possibility of doing something nice. Of course, he got that medium contact where he hit just like a quarter of the ball, and he's going to love it, though. And I'll tell you, I'll look back at that bank shot, and I'll say, man, I really feel Jeffrey's supposed to shoot at that. Because it didn't look like a guaranteed snooker to me when he was playing safe. Right. I know that. And when these guys kick at the 1 ball with all those balls on the table, it seems like they come away clean a lot. Just like right here. Decent chance Jeffrey doesn't give up a shot. Well, I was wrong again.
Wrong again, Wilson. I'm
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah. Happens at least once a game. Donnie Mills of Florida, another fine American player.
He's a pleasant guy, too. I really like Donnie.
Yeah, he's a guy that, really, if Poole was a little more informed here in America, would have played much more full time, and I think would have improved to the point to where he'd have been a guy week in and week out, a force to reckon with, But when you don't play a lot, you just sometimes play some of those off matches, not all the time, but just here and there, and that's got to go a little bit. It's got to go a little bit. Should be okay. He probably want another 2 or 3 inches, but now he's got to come left of the cue ball if he decides to stay offensive. Or, excuse me, left of the 10 ball, I mean. Is he ducking? Yeah, he's not taking any chance.
Well, he pinned him to the 10. I can't complain about that decision.
No, and again, this is the type of kick shot. If you want to keep accuracy, you have to kick at a lighter speed, and it doesn't really do much if you do hit the 3. I mean, you could send it on the side rail, I guess, and keep your opponent from running out, but is he looking at tying something? Oh, I mean, what's he doing here? There's not a whole lot of options, are there?
Mm-mm.
What's he looking at that way? I don't see anything that way. Is he trying to zigzag twice? He's got to come to the bottom rail here, right?
Well, you can see where he's pointing, so it is
another kick shot that very difficult to do much with it.
Yeah, even if he hits the 2-cushion route, there's never going to be separation. You're almost relying on making the 3.
And I think Kenny should watch the cueing here because he's going to want left on this, so easy to touch the 10 coming through. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
no, definitely.
Now, the one good thing, he can get a little more speed on this, but still it's not going to do a whole lot. Yeah. I thought maybe 2 rails to the bottom rail was a little better play, but he was in a tough spot either way.
Yeah. There was nothing there that was easy.
Ralph Souquet teeing it off in the next round. Timeless Ralph Souquet.
Man, what a player.
Yeah. I don't know. Just my gut tells me greatest pool player to ever come from Europe.
All I know is that he finished in the top 4 in 93 out of 104 tournaments. So you tell me.
What kind of tournaments were those?
Pro tournaments. Like maybe some Euro Tour stops and like that.
I don't understand what you mean.
I'm saying he had like maybe out of all the tournaments, like for like 7-8 year period, he was top 4, all but maybe 10% of the time.
Wow.
And then even then, when he'd lose, it'd be Bustamante put a superhuman match on him. It wasn't that he played bad. It was just he'd get down to the end, and then one of those top tier guys would knock him out, and he won a share of them in there too.
Yeah, I'd have to guess those are Euro Tour events.
Well, it was everything. It was over here too.
Well, that's a hard number to believe. I mean,
I couldn't believe it either.
I mean, 100 because he played the Camel Tour. I mean, I know he played 8 or 10 of those a year. He certainly didn't finish top 4 every time.
No,
I mean, so I'm wondering what kind of tournaments, but that's a number that's like I've never heard of that number before.
I haven't either. One time he was in the finals against Efren, and I said, "What's your career record, Ralph, against Efren?" And he says, pretty good. He says, I beat him, what did he say, like 14 out of 21 plays. And I said, oh, my, yeah. I was thinking if he said that he was 50-50, that'd be really good. And he says, but for as good as my record is against him, my record's worse against Bustamante.
Yeah.
And then Bustamante couldn't beat Efren. It was like
3-ring circle, circus kind of thing. But yeah, I've had those situations. We used to follow around CJ when he played Johnny, and he beat Johnny every time, and then Johnny would beat Rafael every time, and Rafael would beat CJ every time. I mean, it's just like one of those things. But top 4 out of whatever that number
104,
was. Yeah,
104 events.
I would guess that's probably early Euro Tour years is my guess.
No, definitely. But still in all, it was, he beat Tom Storm to win the World Championship 11-0.
Right.
That was in that period.
Right. That's what I say. Probably, I'm guessing probably early Euro Tour events plus the Euro Championships. Him and a few others were the dominant players, that's for sure.
And consistent Ralph. I mean, my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he didn't, like, if he played a guy that he's supposed to beat,
it rarely went the other way. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't recall a time that it did go the other way, hardly.
I played him a lot. A lot in some big events, a lot in Moscone Cup events.
I know he played the first 2 Moscone Cups that him and Oliver Ortman were very disappointed with American beer. Very disappointed. I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever. But, boy, they complained about it every day.
In America, you mean?
No, these were in England.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, but
first early Moscone Cup.
Yeah, you're talking about just in conversation then. Yeah, okay. They weren't drinking an American beer.
Oh, never.
Okay.
No, they tried one.
Well, if they were forced here in early 90s, they might have had to. You never know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. They absolutely detested the idea of American beer.
Good look at Jeffrey DeLuna, but Aloysius Yapp to break. Oh, that was a little better transition. Now, he didn't hit the 1 as flush as he's been doing, but he's going to leak the 3 in and get a beautiful shot on the 1. Going to have to play a nice speed control shot, I think, just come on 1 rail down, like going towards the 8 a little bit, maybe in between the 8 and 2. We'll see. Type of shot I call. You just got to use your talent. The route is there. You just got to capture the speed. That's all. Can he get to the right side of the 8, Mark? I think he can. I think he can with just a tip of right. I think he comes to the right side of the 8, which makes everything much easier. Oh, he came between them.
I kind of like this path, 2 cushions, because you weren't likely to get hooked.
No, I like it for sure. Now another 2-cushion path. Just pulling the cue ball past the 9 off the long rail, in rail, and back up.
The problem, if he does go 1 cushion there, is that so often you have to back cut the 2 and hit the 7. So that's why the reason. And then if you clip the 8 coming by there, most of the time you're still going to have a piece of the 2 to hit. So you're not completely hooked. Because where he fell on the on that position play, what was that, the 2 ball he just pocketed? Yeah. Where he fell, now you have a real chance to get out. If you come short, you have a real hard time getting out.
Well, that's why I was saying to the right of the 8, like coming on this side of the 8, near the side rail. I thought that lent a little more forgiveness, and you could be a little more aggressive with the cue ball. But maybe the 5 had him cut off that.
Well, I think it was fractionally lower percentage to get there because of the way the 5 was laying. So
right.
That's all. I'm not saying
it was
right
a concern,
or wrong. Right.
Concern.
And I thought he felt like he had a little better go just going 2 cushions up and down.
Well, not only hard to argue with any of the players because they're at the table and see those little things that, we have a great view here, just about as good as it gets, but still not the view they have. Plus, hard to question what this guy does with the white ball, right?
We'll see. He's at 928, so I'm going to refrain from being too critical.
Yeah. I got to remind people that is our job sometimes. A little devil's advocate, comes with the job.
Well, we're just trying to highlight the thought process for creating a shot like that because those are the type of shots that distinguish, winning and losing in these matches.
Yeah, and he should just use the 1 rail between the 7-9 here. I know it looks tight, but it's very natural. Should capture the speed pretty well. And again, should use those 2 rails he used on the 1 ball. I don't see him loading it up with the inside and try and go left of the 9. I don't really see that being necessary at all. That
very
needs
pure.
to go a little bit there, though.
He says, giddy on up. Give me, oh, my goodness.
This is going to be super thin.
Well, you're right. He's way off on the speed.
Yeah, and I do think he wanted to play 2 rails there. It's normally the shot you would shoot. He may still cut this now. He's got to just go into the 8, turn the cue ball loose, right?
Oh, boy. I'm not an advocate of that one. I mean, now you got a tough shot that you can miss, but no certainty of getting in position. Yeah, there's not an easy save here either.
No, he could get it to the end rail, though, and just kind of control the speed to use the 8. Go the side rail with the cue ball. Just kind of bank the 7 down to the end rail, kind of where the shot clock's at on the end rail-ish. And just use that speed to come use the 8 ball, big full ball. You might even check it with a little right and come back to the rail with the cue ball, like this here. Yeah, that's the shot that I saw. Just kind of use the 8.
Good job.
Yeah, and, there's merit in that shot. There's no jump cue allowed. Tough kicking table for most of the guys. We've seen him miss a few kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Don't expect to miss a kick here. Just for you American pool fans, Josh Robert leads 9-8 over Brandon Schuff. So nearing the end there, that's a winner side match. So they'll both be back, but one will be a little happier than the other. Okay, needs a little fluke here. Needs a little luck. He didn't get it. He's left a difficult shot, of course, but I don't think it's going to save him. Now, myself, I think the natural path with the high ball is fine. I don't think I use a lot of side spin here, Mark. I think I go in rail, side rail, end rail, back up to the center of the table. It looks like to me it's heavy enough where you're not going to scratch one rail in the corner where you're standing. Now, he's cueing down on it. That looks like a touchy business to me. I like the high ball here. Yeah, there you go. Now he's cueing upward, and I think that's definitely the shot. Don't really deal with the squirt too much.
He didn't stay down like he had been either. I'm not saying that, to be critical, because that shot will bring it out of you. But
yeah,
that wasn't, he didn't miss close. He missed by a good bit there.
Well, I talked to Shark about a few things, and the first thing I saw from Aloysius, since I hadn't seen him in a while, is an occasional real big pause in the back of his swing. And the thing about it is it's only on certain shots. And, I think it's a hard thing to use just on certain shots. To me, he's toying around with it. He feels like he shoots straighter on certain shots when he has that pause back there. So, but right there, he had a big pause in the backswing that he hadn't had any shot prior the entire rack.
Right. Maybe that's what I saw, because it definitely looked like a different stroke.
Right. All right, tight going into the side, and he's got to have good speed to hold the cue ball. Overhits a little bit, good steep on the 8. Is he going to bump the 8 here? Oh, nice shot, Jeffrey. I had to shoot that with a little inside.
Even as tall as I am, this shot plays tough, because anytime you're about a diamond past the center of that 10-foot table, you really got to stretch. No problem.
Well, a game that all of us could easily say is a must for Jeffrey. 10-5. Looks like curtains alternate the break the way Yapp is playing, and he's had a pretty effective break. So, caught the 10. Wow. But that's that deflection I'm telling you. He put right English on it.
But the other part of it is that even though he made the ball, it doesn't make you feel good as a player when you know that you've missed by that amount.
Yeah. All right, Josh Roberts, it looks like, has went on to defeat Brandon Schuff. Brandon's playing good, though, so just hang tough, Brandon. keep doing your thing. You'll fight through that final 32.
9-6. Yapp over DeLuna. There's our total performance averages. 92 balls pocketed for Yapp, 52 for DeLuna. That's the differential that you have to be concerned with. 40 balls difference. 902 for Yapp, 867 DeLuna. Both players playing at a high level.
Well, usually when I see that stat, that tells me the match could have already been over. Really just a couple little mistakes from Yapp. The one with the bridge earlier. A little bit of a mistake here, but when you see balls pocketed, that, much of a difference, right?
Right.
Kind of feel like this could be in the books already. A little bit more of a pop than a just straight up smash.
Yeah, the ball behind the one found the side pocket.
Yeah, I like that speed a lot better. Got a beautiful spread here. He can make the one and get good position on the two. Really, the one ball may be the toughest shot of the rack. Just kind of depends. The three's, near a pocket. The four's not too far away. Got to work the cue ball a little bit from the 5 to the 6 later on, but first things first.
Yeah,
is knocking this
I'm worried
one in.
about getting on the 2 if I make the one here.
Yeah. Well, I think he holds the ball. He's got a pretty clear side of the table. Just don't lose the cue ball somewhere. Wow, that's surprising. I don't understand that at all.
Oh, brutal.
I understand you can label it very bad luck, for all that to happen. But, when 90 out of 100 of the players in this room wouldn't shoot the shot that way, it probably tells you maybe it's not the right way to shoot it,
Yeah.
So, and nothing against, he hit it great. But, I mean, when the cue ball, I tell, people I help with their pool game all the time that watch the pros. It seems like their cue ball's never moving very fast because they don't want to lose control and bad things to happen. It's almost on a very need-be basis. You have no choice.
I think in Jeffrey's case, sometimes he feels like he's just a hint more accurate when he goes a little firmer because it almost seemed like he just decided I'm going all out to make this one ball no matter what.
Well, I do get that. I understand that. But that's almost like I said before, if someone was there to remind him how good he is, I mean, if the 2 wasn't hanging, right, and he needed to float the one end to get a certain position on the 2, that's what he would do.
No, good point.
Yeah, so if
But and just think of he hit that object ball, the second object ball.
Full, right?
Dead full.
Yeah, I went through
and it's
it.
Still, so let's suppose he doesn't hit anything. He's liable to end up on the back rail and not even have a shot anyway.
Liable to end up on a 9-footer out there somewhere with the cue ball, to be honest with you. So
it had kill power for sure.
Yeah. And I do understand the what you said. That was a great point as far as, hey, he likes making the ball a little better that way. He's labeled up. It's very hard luck for something bad to happen here, but it's almost like it keeps happening. So, and like I said, Jeffrey's talent is through the roof. I mean, that's another thing. Like I said, if he could just get that little reminder of himself of how good he really is, I think he just rolls that ball in and takes a little longer shot on the 2 and just makes sure nothing bad happens. Now he's got to wait on a mistake from Aloysius, and I think he's gotten a couple extras already. I don't think he'll probably get any more.
All right.
This is professional sports, and it's awesome and everything, but it can be cruel.
Well, everybody makes mistakes, but they don't make second mistakes is the problem. And Aloysius playing over 900 pool, you're not going to get many turns.
Love to get all the way over that rail. Doesn't have to. The lefty would have an easy draw stroke on the 9 to get back for the 10 and get on the heel. And he's not going to get there. And he's going to get awkward cueing here. The longest stretch is cross corner on any pool table.
I almost feel like he should just stay on that half of the table and just go 3 cushions back and forth and just get the cue ball where it's at now.
Middle stun.
Yeah, you just stay on that side. Don't even try to be cute with this, and just make sure you get the 9 ball down.
Well, with deflection, he's got to watch out not cueing with much right. You could hit this thick. His stroke's so clean, though.
Wow.
God,
okay, he got more out of that than I didn't think that was routinely available.
Well, I'll tell you what he does. He doesn't use a ton of outside. He just uses a hair outside on those and really gets a lot of draw on the ball from such a thin hit on the object ball. Now to the heel.
Well, great position. 10-6 now is our score. Yapp playing at 9:08 and 8:55, Jeff DeLuna.
Yapp's going to, you can't ask for any more with this kind of field to have 3 breaks now to win the match. Doesn't get any better than that. Excuse me, I got the 2 Polish players confused. Oliver's playing here against this young Spaniard player that I think is going to be another top player from Spain. It's actually Victor Zielinski that's playing TK, and they're at 5 apiece. The 2 young men from Poland, kind of from a distance, are the same build and kind of look alike. I think they're both from Poland anyways. Who's our next match, Mark? I don't know if you have it in front of us.
I think
or
I
not.
do.
Okay, great.
Glad
Give
you
us
asked.
a little preview. I know this one's not over, but no reason not to preview the next.
I remember it was going to be a great one.
Probably a second round. Uh-oh, he's lost the cue ball here. Exactly what he didn't want to do with a 10-6 lead.
Well, we're going to see Dennis Grabe play straight shooter Joshua Filler.
Okay. Well, I thought that match was over there. I guess the score got mismarked, but now I see Brandon Schuff just missed the 9 ball to go 9-9. It did say 10-8 on the scoreboard, but now Josh Roberts shooting a long 9 ball. And that's the match. Josh Robert actually now defeats Brandon Schuff. Back on the main table. A little flat here, so he may draw it. He may stun it. I don't think it's follow. Maybe he can follow and check the cue ball with a little outside. Yeah, I thought he would stun kind of 2 rails.
Felt pretty comfortable on this shot. 6 balls right over the side, so.
Watch out. Oof.
It is a little scary there when it gets trickling that close to the 10 because it can sometimes just kind of hook around the edge of that 10 and snooker you.
Yeah, like magnetic fields on the outside of the balls or something, how they can weld together.
Yeah, it's true. It does seem like sometimes there's static electricity or something. Good view here. We can see the 10 wiggles. It doesn't.
Kelly Fisher going to tee off here in a little bit. She had a nice win last night over a very good young player, Justin Martin.
Mm-hmm.
She just really didn't let him shoot a lot from what I saw.
No, she can do that to anybody. She's not going to miss.
And Jeffrey, what looks to be somewhat routine here. At least somewhat, I would say. I mean, he's got the 8 covered up a little bit, but
It's interesting. He played this flat position purposely, and so he's just going to play the 8 all the way in the far corner, and he'll be standing over.
Yeah. I don't think he has to move the cue ball here around the table.
Right. That's the idea, is that economy of travel on the cue ball.
And he's got a little room. Okay, you can use the rail a little bit at the speed he should be shooting this, so don't overcut it. Yeah, nice shot.
I think he'll just back it up a little bit. This is to pull a game back. He'll trail 10-7.
Over in the corner. Mario He. Darren Appleton.
Winner side action, 9 ball. Table number 1, Mr. He and Mr. Appleton. Table number 3, Mr. Poteet and Mr. O'Cordio. Table number 4, Mr. Olson and Mr. Yapp will be there when he gets done over here. Table number 2, Mr. Mills and Mr. Al-Shaheen. Table number 5, Mr. Gednak and Mr. Aramis. Table 6, Mr. Suto and Mr. Zoloki. Table 8, Mr. Robles and Mr. Kazakas. Table 9, Mr. Fisher, Mr. Gorst. Table 10, Mr. Rudy Jr., Mr. Corteza. And table 11, Mr. Al-Dumas and Mr. Suke. Gentlemen, please return to your tables if you're not already there. Stand by on table 4 there, Mr. Olson.
Well, nothing but a lot of great rounds. I don't know if you could hear that from Kenny Showman. I'm sure you could, but not really any slouch matches, it looks like to me. Of course, some distinguished favorites in some matches, but a lot of them dead heats. And Tommy Kennedy hanging tough now, ahead 6-5 on Zielinski.
Fedor Gorst is playing Kelly Fisher. He said Mr. Fisher, but he meant Ms. Fisher.
Yeah, Kenny trying to get through it quickly.
That'd be an interesting matchup right there, Gorst and Fisher.
I'll tell you, Tony Robles, Kazakis has got to watch it. Tony's been putting in a lot more time than he has in recent years. He played some really nice matches in Ohio. Jeffrey's got to apply the heat here, got to put the pressure on. He did get a mistake on the break there, a rare one from Yapp with the scratch.
Most interesting breaking style. Look at the bridge is twisted. That I don't really understand it, but he makes it work pretty good. Didn't Brooklyn him this time. He had really square. The ball right
the 2 going to kiss the 1 out, but he's got a nice little kiss shot or bank on the 1. Yeah, I like his chances. A little work on the 5 mark, but I think he's going to do what's needed here to keep the pressure on Yapp.
Got a little decision to make here. Does he want to try to billiard this in? He then has to get position.
Yeah, I think the bank. And got it down. Going to be elevated over the 4, though. This is going to hurt. Wow. Wow, this is going to hurt. He's going to have to play a real first, and it's still nothing nice.
That's ugly.
That's pretty unfortunate there.
I don't really feel that way. No, because he didn't have to draw.
No, I mean, I of course he didn't. I agree with him shooting it in with draw. He didn't have to put as much. But the table's pretty slick. It's hard to figure that right there, right? The reason he didn't want to roll the bank because it doesn't slide as much when it rolls, right? You get a little bigger pocket. So he could have just stunned up the rail, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You could have, I mean, because look at this wide open rail. You know this is a possibility. It doesn't always happen, but if you
sure
continue going that direction, it does happen sometime. Now that's really ruined his chance here.
Yeah, I think
he's got to make a tremendous recovery. Well,
now he better
it's
really come with one. Yeah. So
yeah,
I do have to agree with you there. What was necessary is a lot more of what Mark is talking about. And really just instincts to stay away from balls, right? And when you see a clear side of the table, hey, that's the place to go with the cue ball.
We know the bank is not 100%, but it's a high percentage yield. But you still know you can't take chances.
Wow, he's got a kick.
If you're going to bank it, then you have to make sure you get position and get paid off.
Good hit, but he's going to need a little help from Yapp. He's got a pocket. I think he probably wants to power this in. We'll see, but could float it kind of if he wanted as well. Ooh, man, 8-8. Thorsten Holman and a young Shane Wolford. Tell you, Shane's a player. He's going to be a player. Talented young man. Oh, wow, he didn't have a pocket. Maybe he didn't have a pocket. That's surprising. I think he would have shot at it there if he had a pocket. Great hit.
Willing the 3-ball deep onto the end rail.
Oh, it's a great hit. Exactly how you're supposed to hit it. It gives you all kinds of chances to maybe float behind the ball, the 4, the 5. All kinds of good things could happen. He could have even pocketed the 3-ball. Wow. Kind of keep my eye on a few matches. The young guns really interest me, especially, of course, the American young guns. And you could consider this guy a young gun. He carries a heavy ammunition is all.
Yeah. He's 25 years old. Man, what an upside.
Yeah. Shane Wolford had ball in hand on the 6, overran a little bit. Jeffrey's giving it all he can, that's for sure. We'll see if Yapp wants to take this on. I think he does. It's very much more shootable than maybe the TV tells you, I think. I don't like spinning it myself.
He looks really comfortable, like he's going to play it, in his facial countenance, like he feels like he's supposed to make this.
Yeah, could go right at the corner on the left or the 4, depending on what part of the pocket he really hits. Oh, he hit it super thin. Boy, he shaved that one in.
Yeah, he did. Quality stroke, though, and it was that iffy of a shot with the cue ball. And like you said, he almost overcut it, so that's why the cue ball wasn't under as good a control as he'd maybe anticipated.
Well, yeah, as long as, he felt it staying clear of naturally going into a corner pocket. After you feel that, emphasis is about making the ball there. I mean, the 4 was pretty open out in the table, so hard to get really too jammed up.
Boy, nice touch. Nice touch from there.
Yeah, and we'll see how Jeffrey really feels about it. If he feels good, he can top English this and go back to the rail and put him behind the 5 if you know the shot. This one here, he's maybe trying to make it by the 9, something like that. Yeah, like that right there. Just trying to hold the ball. Pretty containing shot.
Good shot. Really good shot. Super hard to get position here, even though you can make the 4.
Well, there's a position spot.
No, I know, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
you had difficulties. Yeah, of course you can.
His stroke really lends towards this, using the angle with just a tip of spin here to move the ball. 3 rails for shape on the 5. I think he's got to attack here. There's no other choice. Unless he's hooked. Is he hooked? Oh, no. Perfect.
Smooth.
Perfect.
Boy, that was a big-time shot.
Yeah. Once you recognize the angle is going to move the ball, it's really about gripping it in the direction you want to move it. And he just always stays so even keel with the stroke. I say always, a lot. So. Shane Wolford, any Roanoke fans up 9-8 on Thorsten Holman. Wow. He's such a big win for the young man.
Boy, another big-time shot here. This is awkward.
Yeah, I wouldn't, this is the one time, because the speed tells me it could get away from him coming across, I might come back here. If my cueing feels pretty good, I might come back here off of this and past the side.
Boy, he's queuing down as if he's going to play it that way, too, because I think it lends itself to pocketing the ball just a little better if you can kind of...
Yeah, you let the stroke out a little bit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And the thing is, with him, you won't really notice a big difference in delivery. Oh, now he's going high. Eesh. This, to me, could get very thin on the 6, unless he's going straight back and forth. Oh, wow, what a nice hit there. Talk about having all the shots, Mark.
It's probably the 3rd or 4th time that he's carved out from really tough layouts, something that ends up looking routine in this match that we've seen.
Well, I think it looks routine because the stroke just doesn't change much. And
I mean, this is a tough arrangement of the balls to collect.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that, and there's probably 3 or 4 racks in here where
he
got through some series of balls that I did not expect most players would get through.
Okay, just a little light stun. No reason to get carried away with a high ball. Not saying you can't do it, but he's going to do it anyways. So watch out for the hook of the ball here.
You spend a lot of time in no man's land down here.
Yeah, but he still kind of smoothed it, though. You know what I mean? He didn't overhit it. You didn't see the ball really arc that much.
Tremendous shot.
Well, Yapp's going to move on. We're going to lose DeLuna. Yapp will actually, he would literally move on to a 9-foot table to play his winner's side match here in a moment.
Too. Match ball here. He's currently playing a 9-13.
And that'll go up. Nice shooting. DeLuna, just things didn't go his way. I thought he played pretty stellar, though.
They're really good. All right, thanks again for joining us tonight. This has been an Accu-Stats video production, the worldwide leader in billiards programming.